Hi, my name is Daphne, and the topic today is a happy wife. Um, Proverbs 21 says, I'm going to just read it. It is better to dwell in the corner of the housetop than with a brawling woman in a wide house. That's what it says. But Solomon didn't just say it once. He said it twice. He said it twice. He said it in Proverbs 21:9, and then again in Proverbs 25:24. It is better to live in the corner of a housetop than in the inside with a mad woman. Now that part was me. And I'm like, But you see, God, there's always a warning. Always a warning. Because in Deuteronomy 24:5, God said, when a man first gets married, and now this I'm just paraphrasing, when a man gets married, for 1 year, he should not go to war. Right after he gets married, he should not go to war. He should spend that 1 year, making his wife happy. You know, we say a happy wife is a happy life. That's the truth. Because one thing you don't want is a woman who is unhappy or feels like she isn't heard or isn't wanted or needed or is taken for granted. And so if she doesn't feel like she has a voice, it's two things that happens. Either she goes within herself and becomes depressed. Depression shows up in two ways, in a couple of different ways, but she becomes withdrawn and really sad, or outspoken and ready to fight. Arguing, just everything is a fight. Everything. You can't have a decent conversation with this chick because she's angry. And it seems like she's just angry over the silliest things. But at the core of her is pain. And because she doesn't believe that what is causing that pain is it will be validated or anyone cares, she lashes out. And I say that it is so important for the husband to affirm his wife. You know, and Ezekiel 16:6, you know, it's the analogy is really, it's kind of gruesome, but not so much, depending on how you feel about blood and stuff. But there is in that scripture, God sees a baby and it's left in the field to die in its own blood, right? Someone gave birth and then just threw the baby away, right? And so God sees this baby and he's like, you will live. You will live. And the baby lives. Sometimes it's not enough for you to tell your wife that she's beautiful, but it's important for her to know that what she feels and thinks matters to you. Women, instead of lashing out at your husband, have a candid conversation and say, I don't believe you are listening to me. I don't think you value what I'm saying. I don't think you care how I feel when it comes to X, Y, and Z. And this is why. Because you exhibit these behaviors when I try to express myself, or you don't take time to listen to me or even talk to me. I feel unappreciated. And sometimes nah, girl, you know I love you. And then try to touch you. And that's not going to solve the problem. You know, it is just so important to sit down and talk because we do evolve. The man and the woman, our desires change, our wants change, our personalities change just slightly from who we were. I met my husband when I was 24 years old, about to be 25. He was 26, about to be 27. And now we don't need to discuss our ages. Well, I'm not even ashamed. I'm 42 and he is 44, but he looks like he's in his early 20s, and irks me a little bit. But we have to have a conversation every so often, like, okay, this is how I feel. And because you act X, Y, and Z, I feel to me, I'm interpreting, my perception is MQRST. He's like, nah. Oh, I can see that. Now, see, I have a reasonable husband. I do. And we've been together 17 years. I haven't always been this rational when wanting to have a discussion. Let me say that. So one of the reasons why I created Holy Sexy, the game, Holy Sexy, the game, once again, holy means to be dedicated, sexy means to desirable, and to desire is desirable is to make yourself, make your husband want you, right? That he does what he can to get you because you're like, oh, I want that. And then he in turn makes himself desirable because he's like, okay, she did this for me. I want her to want me just as much as I want her, that kind of thing. And it should be that way. There should be a reciprocation. And so that's why I created the game, Holy Sexy, the card game, to open up conversation with husbands and wives. A lot of times, us as women, we have children, body parts in our early 20s are up high, tight and right, as they say, and then they get low and sad, as they also say. And so because we don't feel like we look great, we start to feel self-conscious. We start to feel like we're not desirable, and we become unhappy with ourselves. And in return, we project that on the husbands and say, they're not happy with us. They don't want me. You're looking at her because you think she has a great body, and I don't. He ain't thinking about that. He ain't thinking about that at all, girl. He wants you. He just doesn't want the crazy. No, he doesn't want the crazy. And so us as women, we need to check ourselves and make sure that we're doing what we can to make ourselves happy, because we can't always depend on someone else making us happy. Yes, it's our husband's job to make us happy. God says so. He said, take a year and find out what makes her happy. And then even in Ephesians 5:25, and I'll get into that scripture on another day, but God takes all throughout the word, he spends a lot of time saying, make your woman happy. Make your woman happy. Make your woman happy. She's a gift. Make sure she's happy. She's a gift. Make sure she's happy. A man who finds a wife finds a good thing. And the thing is, you can't keep choosing. Anyway, that's a whole another thing. I'm not gonna bring out choosing the wrong gift, wrong kind of woman, a hoe or a harlot. We're not gonna talk about harlot today. But what I will say this. It is the man's job to make a woman happy, because then she in turn will make the man happy. It is a beautiful circle of life and love when everyone is working towards not making themselves happy, but the other happy. When a husband works at pleasuring his wife and fulfilling her desires and wants and needs, the wife does the same thing, and so they stay happy. Yes, life happens, there are children, and sometimes it doesn't feel like there's enough time, but you have to take that time to get to know her, get to know him, find out what each other's wants and desires are, find out what makes each other happy, what makes the other person unhappy, so that you don't do those things. Find out what comforts them in their time when they're not happy. I personally, I like to dance, slow dance. If I'm not feeling happy, I want to be held close, and he can just sway with me. because it's soothing. It's almost like it's rocking, and it takes me back to when I was a baby, and I was rocked. I'm soothed, and it doesn't take much time. Not even a whole song, no, just a little bit of soothing. You don't even need words, just that physical touch, that time, and all that says, I love you and I got you, just that movement. And with him, he just wants me next to him, quiet. Those of you who know me, I can talk a whole lot. And he's like, yeah, I just need you to hush him. Hush him. Hush him. But I just want, hush him. Hush him. Hush him. Hush him. And so I hush. And I just stay there with him. And if it's to rub his head or hold him or let him lay his head on my chest, whatever he needs from me, I do that. And I do it quietly because that is his preference. Quiet. So I know I kind of went everywhere, but it is the point of this was Deuteronomy 24:5. It is important for a man to make sure his wife is happy. Take the time to make his wife happy, because in Proverbs 2 times, 21:9 and 25:24, it says, it's better for a man to live on top of the house, on top of the roof, than live in the house with an angry black woman. Now that's my version of it. She don't even gotta be angry black. She doesn't have to be black, an angry woman. So, because it's no joke, because she always want to fight. Throw hot grits, boiling water, beat you with a bat, shoot you. That's not me. That's Medea. I'm just joking. But anyway, it's just important for a husband to make his wife happy and to maintain that happiness and do his best and to be consistent in making his wife happy. Nowhere does it say a woman is supposed to make her husband happy. It says a woman should be submissive to her husband. It don't say, wives, take the time to make your husband happy. Nowhere. Nowhere. It is a husband's job to maintain the marriage. It's a husband's job to maintain the relationship. It's the husband's job to see after his wife. Body, soul, and mind. Mind, body, and spirit. That's the husband's job. So, I hope this was good. If you have any questions, so leave a comment. If you have a comment for anything I said, feel free to leave it. I would love to hear what you have to say. Once again, my name is Daphne Thomas. I do know my name. And I am the creator of Holy Sexy, the game. And this game is for the grown and married to get them closer to each other. I look forward to hearing from y'all. Talk to you later. Bye.